Brenda.
I
Brenda,
yes.
you said that you began this call saying that you can't win in this system, but yet you have gotten your child back.
Well, yes. I mean, you can't like go into regular court and create reasonable doubt and win. You have.
All right, let's take another call. Brenda from the Sunshine State of Florida. Brenda, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
Well, actually, I was on your radio show in January, and I've been on Cynthia Becker's show on Facebook like
Good,
2 times.
good.
And the reason for my call is I wanted to share some information.
Go ahead.
So I don't know if you're aware of Chad Popple. He was our secretary here in DCF in Florida, and he actually resigned February 19th.
Mm-hmm.
December 16th, USA Today wrote a big article about DCF and single moms, being accused of not being good parents because they have too many male figures coming in their life, and it was just insane what they found out. They actually did a interview of close to 14 women that DCF actually terminated their rights.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I had my son taken in June on an emergency basis. They just showed up at my house during the pandemic and started throwing all these allegations around. And what ultimately happened was the domestic violence was not found, and I refused to do like a case plan, and because I didn't do the allegations and I thought I could fight. And I'm just here to tell you that you can't win. You can't win. Like, you can't go in there and go, okay, I'm not guilty, because the social workers come in and they want to make you look guilty in front of that judge. And they did everything they could do to keep my son. And he lost like 10 pounds, and the the whole thing was so traumatic for him. And he was placed with my sister. She was an estranged aunt because we had just moved to the area like a year prior. It all started with a neighbor dispute, and it led to them calling the police on us because their kids were running around unsupervised at a condo complex. And we were concerned, and we got involved with that, and we were attacked by the parents because we said something to the kids. And it just escalated from there. And I've had some pretty horrific health issues myself. I was carved up by a surgeon in Florida, 2012. So I had like a hole in my bladder, and my kidney was sewn up with stitches, and I had to have another surgery, number 18, in January of 2020. So I was having some issues, and I was running down the hall to the bathroom, and I tripped and I fell and I hit my face on the wall. So I had this huge bruise on my face. That's where it stemmed from. As soon as the neighbors seen it, they called DCF.
And they thought it
and
was
they claimed.
They claimed domestic violence?
Yes. Yes, they lied.
Well, Brenda,
So,
do you still have a chance to get your child back in your custody?
oh, I got him back.
Oh, great.
I got him. Yes, I got him back myself. I filed a complaint online. I wrote an email to the general inspector, the inspector general. I got an email back from them. I've got a lot of stuff that I was able to dig through. I used my appointed attorney. One of the reasons why I flipped out so bad is they took my son. They came to the door and then were throwing all kinds of allegations around. And in 2018, we had a pretty horrific incident in the county that I raised my adult children in. And it was pretty horrific because the police gave our grandkids back to the drug stepdaughter and husband and never called DCF. And we haven't seen them since. So when they showed up at the door, Carson, my son, he's 13. He's our last one of, well, for me, 4. I have a 34-year-old daughter, a 24-year-old daughter, and a 22-year-old son, and a 13-year-old. And, I've had not like a history of, but I've been married 3 times, so I have a very colorful past. And my second husband was complete deadbeat father. He abandoned us for 11 years, and he didn't pay child support, and it was just horrendous. And he had died in California as a homeless man on June the 1st, or June 2nd, and then June 3rd, the DCF people show up. And
well, wait a minute, Brenda. Brenda,
yes.
You said that you began this call saying that you can't win in this system, but yet you have gotten your child back.
Well, yes. I mean, you can't go into regular court and create reasonable doubt and win. You can't go in there and go, hey, I didn't do that, because the first time I was in court, it was during the pandemic, so I was on the phone and, freaking out because I couldn't believe that she came back after, she left, and then she came back with the police and took our kid.
How long did it take you to get the child back?
He was gone for 4.5 months, and I was forced into a safety plan with him for 60 days after they didn't find domestic violence. And I was forced into counseling, and they didn't know that I was already in counseling for way before the pandemic even hit. And I was seeing I was talking to somebody because of the incident at my house in 2018, and I had PTSD from that incident and from the medical malpractice, and so I've been through a lot, and I thought I could fight with, hey, I've had enough, you guys are going to make me crazy, but that's not what happened. They ended up using everything against me, and they came at me for my son's health because he lost 10 pounds. And I know that he lost 10 pounds because he had just had a birthday, and we were weighing him, and he was in Taekwondo and everything. He was a straight A student. He was amazing. And I'm going to tell you, since he's been back, the first time he came back, I mean, it was hard for him because, he was ripped away, and he wasn't in foster care, and he wasn't injured or anything, but during the pandemic, he was flying on airplanes. He was at Disney. He was everywhere. And, we were staying
2 minutes
because of the pandemic, and the fact that she came and she did not have a mask on. I mean, she was very unprofessional. I wrote a complaint about it, and I'm telling you, she went back to the office. She looked us up. She was angry because we asked about her dress code, and I said her card could be fake, because people come and knock on doors all the time, and I'm a graphic artist, and she just did not like us. And the worst thing that happened was my husband is the father of our son, the 13-year-old, but he was the stepfather of my 2 adult children. And through it all, we were able to get our children to college, and my daughter got a master's in psychology, and my son's graduating college with a criminology degree. And so I'm like, I was appalled that they were saying we were bad parents.
1 minute.
But what the worst thing was is she took him, and then she called me an hour after he was gone, and she says, "Well, I just want to let you know that Dwayne does not have any rights to Carson."
Hmm. Hey,
And I'm
Brenda.
like, "Oh my God."
Hey,
Yeah.
Brenda. I gotta cut you short there. I'm getting a
Okay.
message in my earphone. Listen, I'm glad that you got your child back. Um, that's a success story that I always like to hear. If you'd like to talk some more with us, give us a call next week or in a couple of weeks and give us some more information on what's going on with your case or, after the
I
case.
have one question though. I
Brenda,
wanted to talk about the
Brenda,
federal. Yeah.
Brenda, you're going to have to call back. I'm sorry. The engineer is
Okay.
telling me I got to go to commercial. Hey, thank you for calling and thank you for listening. I hope to hear from you next week. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services.